Today, guys, I'm featuring the Share a Milkshake stamp set and coordinating dies by Stampin' Up. This came out in the new catalog, started January 2023. It's going to end May 2023 or while supplies last. So today I'll be creating some mini slimline cards. So if you're interested in seeing that, please do stay tuned. Welcome, guys. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Claudette with MsPuff Creative Corner. So let's jump into today's project. So the set I'm featuring today is Share a Milkshake. So they have the stamp set, which is a photo Palmer stamp set, the clear stamps, and well as the coordinating dies. If you get it as a set, you save 10%. Of course, you could get them separately. I'll leave this information in the description box down below if you're interested in getting any of these items. And they Share a Milkshake dies. They come with let's see, 12 dies. Okay, so these are the dies that it comes with here, and just these are how some of the cutouts look. Okay, so I put the milkshake topping in different colors. The cups, you have little cherries, you have a straw, you have a spoon. What's so nice about when you have these little ice cream scoop, they give little cutouts here. The die have little cutouts here that you could put the spoon into or the straw into. So I thought that's pretty nice. So then you have like the wafer cones, and then the wafer imprints. You have some little hearts. So if you want to add some caramel toppings or the chocolate topping, the little drizzles that goes on top, you could add that too as well. So let's get into the cards. So I'm going to bring in my scoring and trimming tool, and I'm going to have a piece of white cardstock. This is a thick white cardstock. This is measuring 11 inches by 8.5 inches, and we're going to put that on the 8.5 inch side, and we're going to take off 2 inches off of that because we're going to make two slimline cards. And these slimline cards is just a tad bigger than your note cards. So I'm just going to take off 2 inches. Then what I'm going to do is score it down the middle at 5.5 inches. And then we're putting that on the 11 inch side. We're going to score it down the middle at 5.5 inches. So after we score it down the middle at 5.5 inches, we're going to put it back on the shorter side, and we're going to have 6.5 inches, and we're going to cut it down the middle at 3.25. That would give us our 2 slimline card. So now with this 2-inch piece, you could go ahead and stamp your images on here and go ahead and die cut them out like I have done. So now what we're going to do is fold our cards in half, and at times what I like to do is put that up to the edge right there and fold it down just so the legs could be nice and even. And go ahead and crease that, and I'm just going to take my bone folder and make that a little tight. So we'll do the same thing on the other one. So next what we're going to do is just design our card. So I'm going to put one in landscape and then one in portrait. All right. So we're going to start out in landscape. I made a couple boxes earlier and I had leftover scraps from that. So these are nice and small. You could use your leftover scrapbook paper. Like this box right here, I created this explosion box. So if you're interested in seeing how I create that, I'm going to leave that to the top of this video, you just click on that to see how I created those explosion boxes. So I had a couple paper left over from that, so I'm going to go ahead and use that to decorate my little mini Slimline cards. So I had this little strip here, I just cut it down for both of my cards. So we're going to go ahead and take this piece and then we're going to add it here. And this is it's over an inch wide and 5 3/8 of an inch long. So you could use either side. You could use that side. I'm just going to go ahead and stick and use the green side. So I'm just going to add some adhesive to this little strip. And then I'm just going to center that down here, or just put this to the edge. I just want a little bit of the white showing. Next, I'm going to decide which cup that I want to use. And when you're using the cup, it has the two-step stamping. So you have the solid image there, and then this other image gives those little grooves. So I have the cup, and then I'm going to decide on what scoops I'm going to use here to the top. And I already did cut out my cherry, and I add some glossy accent to this to give it that shimmer. And this is actually Stampin' Up! Fine Tip Glue, which is just a clear glue. And I'm going to go ahead and stick this down. I think I'm going to use those toppings there. So I'm just going to add this just about here. And this makes it look like you have a little tablecloth underneath. Then what I'm going to do is add this piece back here, there to the top. And even if it extends over, this fits in your regular A2 envelopes. So if it sticks over, that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and take some glue and go ahead and glue that down. And then I am going to pop this one up with some dimensionals. But before that, I'm going to go ahead and stick my straw in. Just going to slant it there to the side there a little bit. Then I'm going to go ahead and add some dimensionals to the back of that. See, and then my straw is sticking out here, and then if I add the dimensional right on top of that, that's going to help keep that down so it don't pop out. And also, once I stamped the ink with the little ice cream scoops, I also put my clear embossing powder on that, so it gives it a little shimmer. So next, what we're going to do is I'm going to get the hearts. They have some heart within that stamp set. And I'm going to have this red, which is a nice red that I'm loving. This is the Sweet Sorbet by Stampin' Up, and these products are by Stampin' Up. And I'm just going to stamp 3 hearts here to the top. Next, what I'm going to do is stamp the sentiment celebrate here on this little piece of cardstock. So the width on this is probably a 1/2 inch, and the length is about 1 3/4 inches. So when you're using photo polymer stamp set, it's good to have a little cushion underneath when you're stamping. So I already have the word celebrate on my ink block. I'm going to ink that up. and go ahead and try to center that. Next, what I'm going to do is add some dimensionals to the back of that. But while that is drying, I can't forget my cherry on the top. So I'm going to add some glue to the back of that. Then add my cherry right there. Next, we're going to go ahead and pop that sentiment up. And I am going to add some dimensionals for the back. This is a quite simple card. Then what I'm going to do in the inside, I have some of the mint green here that I had left over too as well from that box. And what I did is I took my tracing wheel. So I took this tracing wheel to add some stitching around the edges. Alright, so what I'm going to do is take my glue, add some glue. And this is measuring roughly 3 1/8 of an inch by 5 3/8. And I just wanted a little bit of the white to show around the edges. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is add maybe a little pop of color. This here was also some strips of paper that I had left over. I had created a altered golden little book for my daughter, and this is just scraps of paper that I had left over, and I am just gonna add that here just to give it a little pop of color. And I also have some hearts too left over. And then this says celebrate, and I'm just gonna add happy birthday. I'm gonna use that same red sorbet. I'm gonna add happy birthday here. And I'm just trying to make these cards to send out. I'm gonna try to send out some birthday cards for the February folks. And I'm just gonna add this heart that I had left over there. Let's just put it right here. So I'm part of a Facebook group, the Back Porch Stampers with Karen Titus, and they have a list of people to send out birthday cards to, and I think that is always so awesome. You know, as you make your cards, you could send it and brighten up somebody's day. So also I have a stamp that I'm gonna stamp to the back of this to say handmade. Okay, so this is says hand stamp for you. I got this off eBay, and this was by JRL Designs. So I'm just gonna ink that up and just stamp it to the back of my card. Alright, so while that is drying, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing to the portrait cardstock that we prepared earlier. I'm just going to make this a little tighter so it could close nicely. And with this one, we're gonna get this cardstock and then we're gonna run it this way. You know, it's like I say, you could use either side. I'm gonna continue using the green side. So we're gonna run it this way. Well, it's the same directions that we're running it, but you know, once we design it, we're gonna design with it sitting this way. So if it's turned this way, it's the same strip, right? So, but we're gonna put it here in portrait. This is cut out with the stitched shapes. This is by Stampin' Up, and this is like in that circle. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that right here. And before I add that down, because I want to pop that up, I am going to glue my cup down and my milkshake down, and just now to decide what colors I am going to use. I think I'm just going to use 2 browns. What I'm going to do is add some glue, and then I'm just going to use my silicone mat to protect my area. And these silicone mats are awesome because once your glue gets on there, it just rubs right off. So we're going to put that down here. Then I am going to add 2 of the crumb cake colors, these beige colors here. So we're going to add that here. Then I am going to, instead of a straw, I'm going to use a spoon. Okay, so, and I am going to pop that up with some dimensionals. Again, I'm going to add the dimensional right on top of the spoon so you could stick it down to that ice cream scoop. And like I said, if you want to add any drizzle on there, you could add that to it. I don't know if I like how that looks with the drizzle, but you could do it. Maybe it's just a little too dark, but let's see. So we're gonna add that, and then we're gonna add our cherry there to the top. Alright, so I'm coming down to the edge of my dimensionals. I'm just gonna cut these down. So what we're gonna do is add some dimensionals to the back of this circle, pop that up. So we're gonna add that right here. And then up to the top, we're gonna stamp some of those hearts to the top up here. So I had this sentiment already made up with that checkered gingham cardstock left over. I may add it here just to add a little contrast to it. Let me see, or let me know in the comment down below what you guys think. I'm just gonna stamp another plain, and just the simple white like I did earlier. We could put that here, and it just gives it a cleaner look. What you guys think? So I am going to put some dimensionals to the back of that and pop that up too as well. Make sure you put it right side up. So we're going to add that here. And then in the inside, I already have this prepared again. This was just extra cardstock that I had from my explosion box. And I used that tracing wheel to create those little stitching. And this one here is a little smaller than the previous one that I used on the other card. It shows more white, but that's how you use up your scrap papers. I'm just gonna make this a little tighter. And then here to the bottom. All right, I'm gonna use this scrapbook paper left over right here. I like the red. So we had a little piece here, so I'm just going to add that. Then I'm going to go ahead and stamp happy birthday. If you guys are getting any creative value from today's video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the bell icon so you can be notified when I upload my latest videos. And then you could add, I have an extra spoon here. I could add that right there. As well as a heart right up here. Why let them go to waste? Then next what I'm going to do is take my stamp for the back of my card. And it's always good to maybe stamp the back first before you add that bulk in the inside. So I am going to hand stamp for you in that sweet sorbet. So I'm going to bring in two other colors that I created just like this. So now I have 4 Slimline mini cards, birthday cards to send out. So these are, let's see. All right, so these are the 2 that I created today. And then these are the other 2 that I had created off camera. So I really prefer the red because it's more vibrant, but they are clean, easy to make. So once your card is stained this hard to, you could also bend it to the other side, press it down, give it a nice little seal there with your bone folder, turn it over on the other side and do that again. And that would help it to close a little flatter. I hope you guys got creative value from today's video. Go ahead and hit that like button and that will be greatly appreciated. Okay, and these 2 that I created earlier, let me show you the insides. So that's the inside of that one. I love how that pink looks with that little checkered print or plaid print. So, and then this the inside of this other one. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Claudette, and I'll catch you guys on my next video.